So in my last video, I mentioned that Red Green Vine was talking about how the stripes and grin feature that is commonly reported in the DMT experience was nothing more than an overlapping of signals, which is similar to tracers, and how it basically elongates and stretches time and space. And this was a materialist explanation for what's been going on, and it raised a lot of discussion about whether the DMT experience is just a hallucination or whether it's something real or something beyond or something supernatural in a sense. And I just wanted to explain my view on this kind of topic because it's something that I've been juggling with and dealing with for a long time. And right now, I should say that I'm indifferent to the either or side of it, whether it's real or whether it's a hallucination. When I was younger, it was more important to me to believe that it was something beyond and something supernatural, because I guess in all of us there's a certain sense, or there's a certain need to want to believe in something beyond ourselves, and that's perfectly natural. I mean, there's a lot of people have that sense, whether they do it through religion or whether they do it through any type of other beliefs. Usually everyone has pretty supernatural beliefs in some area of life, whether it be believing in coincidence or believing in synchronicity or believing in things like horoscopes and stuff. We always want to assign supernatural value to certain things that may or may not have it. And in the past, for me, it was definitely important because I think part of my identity was tied with that. And I believed at the time that if it was something supernatural, then it would validate things that were going on in my life. And I've come to the point where different things are part of my value system, and me believing it's a hallucination or me believing it's real doesn't really have anything to do with what things I want in my life. You know, the people that I want to surround myself with. These questions aren't really gonna make any difference towards whether I can have the people that I want in my life or whether I can't. And to me, that's the most important thing right now. I believe that, you know, there's more social awareness I find in my life, and ever since then, it's kind of taken away from my need to want to believe in something supernatural, possibly because I don't need it, possibly because I see something supernatural and magical about the people that I want in my life. And I guess that before, I assumed that the experience being real was somehow going to change those feelings and make it better for me, but I don't really think it does at this point anymore, and it's not really important to me. So I'm completely open to either or, whether it's real or whether it's a hallucination. And I think the mainstream opinion, since the mainstream hasn't tried it, I guess they would all say it's a hallucination. So the people that have tried it are the ones that say that it's not a hallucination and it might be a real thing. But if you ask neuroscientists, most of them will believe that it's just a hallucination and it's caused by brain activity. And I'm basically on the fence about that. I've seen a lot of really compelling evidence or ideas on the neuroscience side, and it makes me want to believe in it just being hallucination, just because I have a need to want to stay logical, and I think that obviously the logical default is to believe that it's just part of brain activity. A lot of the times when you believe it's something more than that, you're open to people possibly looking at you as if you're more not as stable, I guess, because even though that's not technically true, that's just a false stigma, and I realize that I realize that too. But I think there can be a lot of credibility that you can end up conveying when you're able to sort of look at both sides and say, hey, you know, I'm not really too sure about this. It's good to keep an open mind, definitely, but a really good quote is, keep an open mind, but not so open your brain falls out. You know, there's this constant balance that I think you need to apply to any type of information that still is mysterious and we don't have all the facts in yet. From what we know about neuroscience and things, the brain is very powerful, and it's able to create a lot of interesting experiences, and we understand a lot of it. But as you guys know, we don't fully understand consciousness. So until we fully understand consciousness, there's a lot of gaps in our knowledge, and it leaves a lot of things open to possible paranormal type things, or things that are out of the normal. And that could include things like orchestrated objective reduction, which I've talked about in my last video, which is basically saying that our mind has a quantum element to it, and that could possibly open the door up to very interesting realities about what our mind is capable of and what it's connected to. But these theories are not proven. We don't have enough proof, and it's a shame, because we know so much. We've created so much technology. We're always advancing, but yet we still haven't answered some of the most fundamental questions about reality and what we are. And I believe that until we do that, there's no real reason to try to get a firm belief system into one side of the story. I think we should look at all angles, whether it's the materialist side or whether it's something beyond that. I've grown to a point where it doesn't really matter to me which explanation it is, because to me that's not the most important thing in my life anymore. The world is still going to be an incredible mystery, and something that is so impossibly strange. I mean, even just the fact that we're here and we're conscious and we're alive is beating the odds at what, like 1 to hundreds of billions. Like it's almost impossible that we're even alive today, and it just defies all explanation of what is possible in the world. And there's still, even if everything was just materialist, there's just still so much mystery in the world. And to think that there's no mystery if a psychedelic experience or mystical experiences turned out to just be part of brain activity, I mean, that's still something that's incredibly profound, because it just shows how evolution created something randomly that is just so impossibly complex and amazing. And it just none of that even really makes sense to me. I mean, the important thing to look at is whether things can create such complexity out of nothing. And it's just so bizarre that has been able to occur in this universe, and that raises a lot of questions, definitely. Whether synchronicity or things like that is real, or coincidence is just something that's very convincing is still up for debate for me. I don't really know if synchronicity is real, or whether coincidence is something that is just a random thing that happens and we just assign meaning to it. All of these questions, I believe, fall into the mystical or the mystical question of whether reality is something mystical, or whether it's something that is just random but yet became something incredibly beautiful and incredibly complex. I don't really know the answer, but I'm always going to stay open to either side, because I can't really have any opinions on it until I get an explanation. There's no real way to know for certain about any of these things, and that's part of the reason why I choose to stay agnostic on the whole situation, and try not to have any sort of opinions on what reality really has to do with all the mystical stuff, and if it's just something that other people decide is just plain. It really doesn't matter to me. All that really matters to me is the people in my life, and the people I love, and the people that I want to love, and I think that that's the most important thing. So I just thought I'd share my opinion on that. You guys are welcome to give your own opinions on what you guys think and what you guys find valuable. And yeah, I'll definitely be open to hearing about it and talking to you guys about it. So I hope you appreciate my perspective on this stuff, and I welcome your comments. So have a good night.